Two friends, once living happily in a college dorm room, experienced a life-altering horror tragedy one fateful evening, leaving them forever changed. Meg is sitting at her desk, surrounded by textbooks and notes, trying to study. Samantha is dressed up and ready to head out for a party.
Hey, you're missing out on all the fun.
Nah, I need to study for the midterms.
Suit yourself. I'll bring you some pizza on the way back.
Meg smiles as Samantha leaves the room. She continues to study, the silence in the room broken only by the sound of pages turning. Samantha stumbles back into the room, slightly tipsy. She doesn't want to wake Meg up, so she switches off the lights and collapses onto her bed. Next morning, Samantha wakes up and tries to wake Meg up too.
Hey, wake up. We need to talk about the exams.
There's no response from Meg.
Come on, Meg. Don't be a sleepyhead.
She hesitantly uncovers Meg's face and gasps in horror.
Oh my God! Meg!
Meg's face is black and blue. Samantha stumbles back and falls to the ground in shock. The police are investigating the room, taking pictures and fingerprints. Samantha is sitting on the chair, her face pale and eyes red from crying.
Can you tell us what happened last night?
I went to a party with my date. When I came back, the lights were off, and Meg was asleep. In the morning, I found her like this.
She points to Meg's lifeless body.
We'll do everything we can to find out who did this.
Samantha notices that Meg's study table is all messed up. She walks towards it and sees a note on the wall. It reads, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the lights?"
Oh my God, the murderer was in this room last night.
Samantha is sitting in a room with a police officer. She looks scared and traumatized.
We need you to remember everything that happened last night.
I don't know. I can't remember anything after I came back from the party.
Think hard. Every detail is crucial in finding the killer.
Samantha tries to remember, her face contorted in concentration. Samantha enters the room and switches off the lights. She notices something moving in the shadows but dismisses it as her imagination. The shadowy figure moves towards Meg's bed, and Samantha watches in horror as it attacks Meg. Samantha's face is pale, and her hands are trembling. She looks at the police officer with fear in her eyes.
I remember now. I saw someone in the room last night.
Can you describe the person? Was it a man or a woman?
I'm not sure. The person was wearing a hoodie, and I couldn't see their face.
Okay, we'll take note of that. Anything else you can remember?
The person left a note on the wall. It said, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the lights?"
We'll analyze the handwriting and see if we can match it to anyone.
Samantha looks at the police officer, hopelessly.
Please find who did this to Meg. She was my best friend.
We'll do everything we can. You did the right thing by coming forward.
Samantha is packing her bags, ready to move out of the dormitory. She looks at Meg's empty bed, tears streaming down her face.
I'm sorry, Meg. I couldn't save you.
Suddenly, Samantha hears a creaking noise from the study table. She walks towards it and sees a shadowy figure moving in the corner of her eye.
Who's there?
The shadowy figure emerges from the shadows, and Samantha recognizes the hoodie.
You killed Meg. Why did you do it?
The figure doesn't reply and moves towards Samantha. She screams and runs out of the room. Samantha is running down the corridor, screaming for help. She sees a security guard and runs towards him.
Help me. There's someone in my room.
Stay here. I'll check it out.
The security guard runs towards Samantha's room, and she follows him. They enter the room, and Samantha sees the shadowy figure attacking the security guard.
No!
The figure turns towards Samantha and runs towards her. She picks up a textbook from the floor and throws it at the figure. It hits the figure's head, and the hoodie falls off, revealing the face of Meg's ex-boyfriend, who was jealous of her friendship with Samantha.
You should have stayed out of this, Samantha. Meg was mine, and I couldn't let anyone come between us.
The police arrive and arrest Meg's ex-boyfriend, and Samantha collapses on the floor, relieved and traumatized. Samantha is sitting in a room with a police officer, looking drained and scared.
Are you okay, Samantha?
I'm fine. I just can't believe it was Meg's ex-boyfriend.
He was jealous of your friendship with Meg and couldn't handle the fact that she moved on.
I never thought he could do something.
You couldn't have known. He hid his true intentions well. We'll do everything we can to make sure he's punished for what he did.
Thank you for everything.
The police officer nods and walks out of the room. Samantha looks out the window, lost in thought. Samantha is walking towards her car, lost in thought. Suddenly, she hears a voice behind her.
Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the lights?
Samantha turns around, scared out of her wits. She sees a group of students laughing behind her, playing a prank.
That's not funny.
The students look at each other, confused.
We're sorry. We didn't mean to scare you.
It's okay. Just be careful about what you joke about.
The students nod and walk away, leaving Samantha alone in the parking lot. Samantha is driving away from the college, still lost in thought. Suddenly, she hears a quiz question on the radio.
Here's today's quiz question. What is the name of the killer in the movie Scream?
Samantha smiles, remembering the time she and Meg had watched the movie together.
Ghostface.
Samantha turns up the volume and continues driving, determined to move on from the tragedy and make Meg proud. What's the scariest or most unusual experience you've had while living in a hostel or dormitory?